doing on this blessed day that the Lord has made? I'm doing good. Didn't have a good night's sleep last night. That's why I'm up so bright and early making a video. I've been up like ever since maybe about 12:30 or 1 o'clock this morning. And it is now, what time? 5:39. Mm. How y'all doing this morning? Are you ready for the spring to get sprung? I think we're supposed to spring forward. Is it tonight? I was like surprised. I heard it on the news. I said, spring forward already? No wonder the temperatures are changing. And I guess, I don't know when Easter is. I know the spring forward comes along. Let me get these glaring glasses off. Um, Usually come around about this time of the year. But it seems like to me it's kind of early for springing forward. But I ain't got no complaints about it, y'all. If the weather's gonna get warmer and nicer, so I can get the heck out of Dodge, I'm good. You don't have to excuse my throat. Like I said, I've been up all night, but yet and still haven't talked to anybody. So, and my throat is a little scratchy. But I got a cup of coffee, so I'm trying to soothe it a little bit. And I've been up here doing nothing all night, just doing nothing. I was laying in bed watching TV, and then I said, well, let me get up. And so I got up because laying in the bed, sometimes I start to hurt, my back will start to hurt, or I start to feeling, tossy and turny. And so I said, well, I'm just going to get up. And so I got up, and I was in here. I finished the edge on my crochet. Sure did. And then I was gonna do the other one, but I got confused. The one with the chevron, to straighten out the chevron. I got confused, so it's still laying over there on the table. But I'll get to it today. And we're gonna do this today. We're gonna finish all those covers before we start something new. Because I have a habit, I have a tendency, should I say, of starting another project and not really finishing the other one. And so this time I'm not going to do that. I'm going to finish what I started. Yes, that's what I'm going to do. Other than that, I have nothing on the agenda except I want to go to the store, but I don't know if the weather is going to permit me to do so. And like I said before, I refuse to call Instacart. I will do Instacart. It's got to be a dire emergency. And that's for sure. They're a ripoff, y'all. Believe it. It's a ripoff. But I mean, if you got money like that, just throw over there and just give them. You can go right ahead, but I don't have it like that. It is convenient, I have to admit. It came in good for me when, the snow was on the ground and everything like that, and I needed, some extra stuff in the house. It did come, handy at that, for something like that. But like I said, it's got to be an emergency. I'm not just going to use them just to be using them. As long as I'm able to go out and do my own grocery shopping, or either my daughter or my somebody takes me out, something like that, that is going to be the name of the game. I'd rather give it to somebody I knew, you know, give them a few dollars for gas than to give it to, somebody. And they charging all these fees and this, that, and the third. Oh my goodness. Yes, I'm back into my aquarium. Yes, I am because spring is springing, and everybody's gonna soon be going to the beaches. I don't know if you're gonna be in there doing any deep sea diving or anything like that because I think what I'm watching is deep sea or the coral reef. I don't know what it is actually, or where these people hang. I mean, those ooh, type of fish and stuff hang out at. I think it's the coral reef. I'm not sure, y'all. I really don't know. I just love to watch stuff like that. And like I said, I have nothing on my agenda. I have nothing to cook that I want. So I think I'm just going to have some tuna fish today. Easy peasy. Today's Saturday after all. But if the weather permits, my old buzz around is ready. She's ready. If when the weather is ready, she ready. And one thing I noticed yesterday, how all the snow has just, I see grass in my front yard. I was like, wow, I can see the ground. It's been a while since I was able to see the ground because the snow was covering it. Yeah, and then you know how they make a path? They make a path through the snow to your walkway. But the yard itself, they don't, do anything over there. And I said, half of my yard is showing. That's a good sign. Because for a minute there, y'all, I'm telling you, it had been a minute since I had seen my yard. It had been a minute. It would seem like every time you turn around, it was going to snow or it was going to rain. It was just doing the most, y'all. I'll tell you. But it was good. The snow was good, though. I like the snow. I like seeing the snow sometimes, but, after a while. Where, it looked like it wasn't going to stop. I said, gee, Whitaker. Yeah, but we're going to have a beautiful spring, I am sure. First thing we know, we're going to have green trees. We're going to have flowers. Yeah, and we're going to have green grass, the pretty yellow, what is it, tulips? No, tulips are yellow too, right? Tulips are yellow, pink, they're different colors, I think. Daffodils. We're going to be smiling from ear to ear, y'all. We're going to be real cheeky, if you know what I mean. We're going to be smiling. Then after a while, we're going to start complaining. Oh, the Lord, it's so hot. Like they say, we always got something to complain about. But, in the spring, those are the favorite time of the year is the spring. What in the world? Oh, I didn't get it in time, yeah. But spring, there's some beautiful, perfect weather in the spring and the fall. There you go. There you go. Those two right there. Yes, sir. But I want to go to the store. I want to go to Walmart. I haven't been in Walmart. Oh my goodness, I can't even remember when I went to Walmart. And I want to just get out of the house, period. I want to go out for like an afternoon or couple of hours or something. And so that's what I'm hoping for today. It depends on the weather. And just go to the grocery store, go to Family Dollar, just to get out and do something besides sit in the house and play games and crochet. Enough is enough already. Yeah. And I hope it's going to be a beautiful day. But we shall see. We shall see. After all, I'm up and ready. I'm ready to go right about now. But the sun hasn't even come up yet. I said, I hope I don't get sleepy and end up going back to bed. But I can't because I got to have some. I don't have to have milk, but I want milk because I like to have my cereal sometimes in the morning instead of having to get up and cook breakfast, so that I can take my medication and whatnot. And so that's one thing I want to get out there and do. Matter of fact, I need to write it down before I forget it. Because come to think of it, I haven't had breakfast this morning yet. And I don't even know if I have enough milk for cereal. So I may have to cook breakfast this morning. But I got grits. I got a box of oatmeal that's been up there forever. It hasn't been open or anything, so I guess it's all right. And I got some eggs. And I got some potatoes. But I don't want to cook. I want to just pour some cereal and, like I said, and get out of here. That's what I want to do. Let me see what the weather's going to be. How y'all doing this morning? I hope you're doing okay. I hope you're able to go out. But if you down there, down North Carolina, down south, somewhere down there, you all right. I'm sure y'all got some beautiful weather. But our weather here is kind of iffy, you know? It's very iffy. I'm out of camera. I'm sorry, y'all. I was just looking up. I'm trying to look up something really quick. Yep. Oh, today's my brother's birthday. I forgot all about it. He's 85 today. I had 3 birthdays this month. I had my nephew, William, and my niece, her son. Well, he's my great nephew. And my niece, that's her son. Her birthday was, is it March the 6th or March the 5th? I think it was March the 6th. I don't know, I forgot. It's either one of those. And then, because I know their birthdays are right there together. And my cousin that passed away, her birthday also is in there. I think she's March the 5th. And my brother is today, March the 7th. And then later on this month, my brother had another brother that was also born in March. He was born March 22nd. And I have a granddaughter that was born on his birthday, March 27th. 22nd. They both were born on the same day. And then, of course, my birthday's coming up. The big 80s club, like my sister can say, the 80s club. That's the year I'll be 80 years old. Ooh, good, good, move. That sounds so old. You know, that's over 3/4 of a century plus, wait a minute, 3/4 of a century plus 5. I'm blessed. Yes, I am. Yes, yes. Oh, I'm supposed to be seeing what the weather is. And here I am, all up here, the birthday. That's because I clicked on the camera. I mean, my calendar came up. Blah, blah, blah. Da, 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 da. Let's see now. I'm trying to find out what my weather. 35. Feels like 38, they say. The skies will be, I will be 40. Tomorrow's going to be better, but it's going to look like a little raindrop. So I don't know which one's going to be a better day. Today, there's rain in the forecast today. What? Today, March the 7th. I think I might have to go out. If I'm going, I'm probably have to go this morning. It's going to be 40 degrees. That's going to be the high, and the low, it's going to be 39. Wow. But Monday, ooh, 57. I'll be out there. I don't care if I just ride downtown and look at the green or whatever. I'm just going to be out of the house. I am not. I mean, I'm a homebody. Don't get me wrong. I love staying home. I never had no problem with, staying home. I'm not like I got to be out there and doing this and doing that. It's just that I like to go out of the house sometimes. I don't like to just stay in the house. After a while, you start to get cabin fever, You want to see somebody besides the 4 walls. Maybe have a conversation with somebody or something like that. Gee willikers. Yeah, let's see, Monday and Tuesday looking good. 57. Monday looks even better. No clouds in the sky, nothing. Well, so much for the weather, y'all. What are you doing today? Going shopping, spend up all that dough you work for in a week? You're going to go spend it. Remember to put a couple of bucks aside now and don't touch it. Let it build. You know what? It used to be that when you put your, I don't know if it's still like this because it's been so long since I've had a savings account because I only got a checking. That you put your money in there and they would pay you, I think it was like 5% interest as long as you kept a balance of a certain amount. I think back in the day it was like $500 or $700 or something like that, and they pay you interest on your money. I think it's still like that. I'm not sure. But it's a great idea, y'all. You'd be surprised if you don't touch it for 10 years. You know, you keep adding to it and don't take away. Don't take away unless it's a dire emergency, y'all. And first thing you know, especially if you're married or something like that, if you're a young couple and you're married and y'all are thriving to, planning to own your own home one day, just live off the husband's income. The wife goes to work, saves her money. I'm not saying that she got to save the whole check. It depends on if y'all have children or something like that. I know children have needs as well. But live on the husband's check. This is the plan. You live on the husband's check, save the wife's check, because chances are her check is lesser than the husband's. So you put the money that the wife makes into an account that's going to, make some money for you. And then I believe it's probably less than 10 years, you will have enough to maybe not buy a big house like you want, but you probably will have at least $20,000 in 10 years, less than 10 years. Depends on what kind of job you got. Depends on what kind of job the wife has. Just say she makes $10,000 a year. And then that's small, today in today's standards. And $10,000 a year. And she's able to save $10,000 a year. In 2 years, 20,000. 3 years, 30,000. You got your down payment even with 20. If you want a nice house, you want to put a little, you don't want to have a big mortgage. You want to sort of have a, down that you can afford to, have some kind of spending change and everything. Because with the house, a lot of things comes with it because you got to pay everything, including pollution. And what else? Well, you pay your own lights, your own gas, your heating, everything like that. But I'll tell you, when we got our house, we had a house that we lived upstairs. We had a 2-floor, 2-family. We lived upstairs, and we had tenants that lived downstairs. There was a couple that lived downstairs. They didn't have any children or anything. And that house practically, what? Who is this at this time of the morning? Let's see, y'all. Hold on. Oh, somebody's walking out. Wait a minute. Not early in the morning for us. What is it, Saturday? I guess some people still got to go to work. Let's see what happened out here. Oh, this is a squirrel. Wait a minute. It looked like this is a cat, I think. He came up on my porch, and it went through the banister, the what do you call those things? The spindle? I don't know what you call them, little poles. Because I got the little poles or whatever, like a little fence. He went through there. But you know what? I have seen skunks, possums, and you know what? You're living in the city, you don't expect to see those things, but we do. We have those things that come around here, and they come around, usually they come in for the garbage. And we got dumpsters, every unit, every every square, like that. That's the way the apartments are. And then you got the dumpster for that square. Oh, excuse me. Pig. I sound like a pig this morning. But I am hungry. But I'm not going to eat, I promise. Well, it is almost 6 o'clock. As I was saying, wasn't going to eat until 6 o'clock. But maybe I'll eat at 6:30. I'm getting ready to get off the video. I've been over there for 20 minutes talking about nothing except how you can save the money, save your wife's money, and buy your house. Anything like that. Maybe you want to buy a car. But a car, you probably pay the car note. The wife can handle her own car note, whatever. Because she got to have a car too, especially if she have children, she needs a car. But I don't know how well I made it all those years without a car. But we have buses. The buses run regular, and I was working like downtown and, on the bus route. And I would jump out, buses coming everywhere, half an hour, 20 minutes or something like that there. And they still run like that today up here. But when I was in New Jersey, they did not. But the thing is, when I was in New Jersey, I worked at a telephone company and it was downtown. I could walk it. I could walk it in like 10 minutes. So I really about driving a car. And then when I did drive a car, we only had a one car family. And my husband, he worked, he had to drive to go to work. He worked in a different city. He worked in East Brunswick, I think it was at the time. But I worked in the New Brunswick, where we lived. We lived in New Brunswick. And so I'm working at a telephone company, and sometimes I would drive the car. Of course, I would lose the car, forgot where the car was at. Even back then, y'all, just goes to show you, you don't just lose it when you get older. I was like this all my life. Hey, where the heck that car is? And we had, I think I may have told this story before too. I'm just going to say it again because I just laughed about it. There was a guard, at the, when I worked at the telephone company, there's a guard sitting at the door. And, and sometimes I would work split, a split shift. I go to work in the morning, work maybe 2 or 3 hours, come home, split for maybe 2 hours to 4 hours. I would come home, but I would have to go back that evening, okay? And so when I get back, I'm going that evening, and my husband worked nights. So I'm driving the car to work, and he told me to park the car on the street. And then when I parked the car, that way he could walk right downtown, get the car, and go on to his job. Okay? Guess what? I left the lights on. I did that a couple of times. I left the lights on, ran the battery down. I don't know what he had to do. But anyway, that was his problem. It's not funny, but, he was mad at me, but I couldn't help it. I forgot. And then when I drove the car and parked it in the parking lot, at the telephone company, and at night, the guard would have to walk us, the operators, to the parking lot to pick up their car. We didn't have to go to the parking lot alone. And so I did not know where that car was. I forgot, we didn't have that kind of car that you could beep it, and all the kind of blah, blah that y'all got going on here today. We had an old-fashioned kind of car. This was back in the 70s. And so I had no idea. And so me and the guard out there in the parking lot looking for the car. Finally, I found the car. And it was almost like a joke because it happened so often with me. You would think that I would that I would have learned my lesson. But no, I didn't learn my lesson. I just kept doing it. And so the guard had asked me, he had gotten to the place he would ask me, well, do you know where your car is tonight? Even when I wasn't driving. And we made a joke out of it. As a matter of fact, he was a nice guy. I forgot his name now, though. And he used to make leather wallets, the kind that you have that thread that shows out of that. And he made those, and I think he was selling them for like $12 back then. And they were really nice. I got one, then my husband wanted one, so I got him one. And they was that thing lasted and lasted and lasted. I don't know if it ever even really tore up. I think I might have just threw it away. I forgot what happened to it, but it lasted. They last a long, long, long time. You know how sometimes things last so long, you just get tired of it. You don't want it no more. Yeah. But those were the days, though. Sometimes I think about those things, those good old days. Those what you call the good old days, y'all. Nice, clean laughter. Ain't talking about nobody, ain't just, stuff like that. And the reason I like working at the telephone company was because you really, well, let me tell you, women will find a way to gossip. Most of them. If you get a little, they can get somebody to listen to them. But usually, if you're an operator, you got a partition between you. Like this here, you're sitting like in a little partition like this here. And that way it protects your voice, from traveling and disturbing the other operator so much. Even though you could hear a little murmur, 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 but not to the point, that it would disturb the other operators. And we worked in a room full of operators. Back then it was 411. Yeah. And so, but I think at lunchtime, I think a lot of the operators would, start talking about people and stuff like that. I don't like that. But anyway, I'm getting ready to get off this video, y'all. I think I might end up frying me a potato because I don't think I have enough milk to make cereal this morning. I don't feel like cooking. I ain't got nothing in my refrigerator. See there? I got nothing. I don't know. It might be enough in there to make some. I got cheese. I might have enough to make a bowl of cereal. Not a big old bowl, not a big old giant bowl of cereal, but the average. Maybe enough to make a cup of cereal, couple cups. I think I eat about 2 cups of cereal every time. But who's measuring? I'm just estimating. It's probably about 1.5 cups to 2 cups of cereal. I know it's more than what they saying on that box. Ain't nobody eating that little bit of cereal. I'm talking about 3/4 of a cup. Get out of here. I eat at least a cup and a cup and a half. And on that note, I'm going to just say it real softly, y'all, this morning. But I was getting kind of carried away there one time, wasn't I? And on that note, I go with love. And I'll see you again soon.